Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahans Parikacharya Astotarasya Srimad Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahans Parikacharya Astotarasya Srimad Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki Jai. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय. नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय. श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोर धाम की जय. वृंदावन धाम की जय. मथुरा धाम की जय. मायापुर नवदीप धाम की जय. जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय. गंगा मई जमुना मई की जय. तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की जय. समवेत भक्तवृंद की जय. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Jai Shri Guru.
Jai, thank you so much, Mahesh Pandit Prabhu, and thank you everyone for being here for Srimad Bhagavatam class with His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami. It is Wednesday, August 16th, 2023. And tonight we are picking up where we left off, which is third canto, chapter 21, Svayambhuva Manu's conversation with Kardama Muni. Tonight we're starting with text number 48. And just a reminder, Maharaj is recovering from some laryngitis, as am I. So we'll be depending on our classmates to read purports and verses and offer their commentary as well so that Maharaj can continue resting his voice. And also I wanted to say, very sorry to hear of the passing of Dharmaraj Prabhu, son of Komodaki and Jaguru Sundar Prabhu's. Hare Krishna. And happy you all could be here, and especially happy you could join us, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Oh, Mahesh Pandit Prabhu, you'll have to unmute yourself so that we can hear you.
Shall I go on now?
Please, please, thank you.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text number 48. Athotajam apayatmam tam nudevam pranatam pura saparyaya parayagnat pratinadyam nu paya. Translation. Seeing that the monarch had come to his hermitage and was bowing before him, the sage greeted him with benedictions and received him with due honor. Purport. Emperor Swayambhu Manu not only approached the cottage of dried leaves possessed by the hermit Kardama, but also offered respectful obeisances unto him. Similarly, it was the duty of the hermit to offer blessings to king who used to approach his hermitage in the jungle. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuramritamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishatam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Sapadantikam Vandeyam Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Tamsajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Nitamsa. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namasute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanevya Vaishnavevyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Thank you. So the purport is straightforward. The king offered obeisances to Kardama Muni as he approached to his hermitage in the jungle. Actually, Kardama Muni also first offered respectful obeisances to him. Similarly, king also offered obeisances to him. So we'll go on number 49.
Prabhu, I just wanted to say before
Yes.
we go on, that I had posted in the chat, in case not everybody caught it, the commentary from Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur on this particular verse.
Okay.
Are you able to see that?
Let's see. Hold on. Yes. Commentary by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti. Should I read it?
Yes, please.
Okay. Uttajam means a leaf hut. Manu offered respects at his feet. Pura. The sage received Manu, who was touching his feet, with suitable worship. That means he raised him up and embraced him after giving him blessing. The king said, "Today I have been successful because I met in a person the form of powerful austerity." The sage responded by praising him, "O king, today I am seeing you endowed with the power to protect the universe by the Lord." Maharaj is saying, as the section unfolds, we will see an ideal relationship between Brahmana and Kshatriya. Okay. We need a chat box here to monitor the read. Okay, yes.
I was wondering if Mukunda Charan Prabhu is maybe available to be the chat box reader this evening, or if someone else would like to volunteer so we can spread the reading around.
Good idea.
I'm not going to be the best one for the job, unfortunately, today. I'm sorry.
Ananta Shesha Prabhu, you want to read number 49, if it's possible?
I'm sorry, I have some voice issues.
Oh, okay. All right. Anybody else? Let's see. Okay, I'll go ahead. Yes, anybody? Okay, text number 49. Gruhitarhanamasinam samyatam priyanam muni smarana bhagavad adesham itya aha dakshanagira. Translation. After receiving the sage's attention, the king sat down and was silent. Recalling the instruction of the Lord, Kardama Muni then spoke to the king as follows, delighting him with his sweet accents. Number 50. Nunam Chankara Chankaram Manam Deva Satam Samrakshanayate Vadaya Chasatam Yatvam Hare Shakti Palini. Translation. The tour you have undertaken, O Lord, is surely intended to protect the virtuous and kill the demon. Since you embody the protecting energy of Sri Hari. Okay, Mukesh Prabhu, you want to read the purport?
Purport. It appears from many Vedic literatures, especially histories like Srimad Bhagavatam and the other Puranas, that the pious kings of old used to store their kingdoms in order to give protection to the pious citizens and to chastise or kill the impious. Sometimes they used to kill animals in the forest to practice the killing art, because without such practice they would not be able to kill the undesirable elements. Kshatriyas are allowed to commit violence in that way because violence for a good purpose is a part of their duty. Here, two terms are clearly mentioned: Vadhaya, for the purpose of killing, and Asatam, those who are undesirable. The protective energy of the king is supposed to be the energy of the Supreme Lord. In Bhagavad Gita 4.8, the Lord says, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrita. The Lord descends to give protection to the pious and to kill the demons. Therefore, the potency to give protection to the pious and kill the demons or the undesirables is directly an energy from the Supreme Lord. And the king or the chief executive of the state is supposed to possess such energy. In this age, it is very difficult to find such a head of state who is expert in killing the undesirables. Modern heads of state sit very nicely in their palaces and try without reason to kill innocent people.
Any comment or question so far?
I have a comment. The
Yes.
modern heads of states are themselves undesirables. So that's all.
Okay.
Maharaj comments in the chat box. Srila Prabhupada emphasizes this in many places. We need a combination of power and righteousness. Praveen Prabhu also comments, how is that Manu is touching the feet of the future son-in-law?
Well, this is not question of that relationship, but the etiquette. And Brahman is always to be respected all the time. And being a Kshatriya, as a king, as a Kshatriya, he just paid his obeisances. It's a question of that relationship.
Maharaj comments, not only his son-in-law, but a Brahmana is touching the feet of the king. So here it is a different relation, which as a matter of duty, he is touching the feet of the king. Ekendra Prabhu comments, since the world situation is so terribly far from ideal presented here, it seems our business is to spread Krishna consciousness as far as possible, in hopes that future leaders may have a chance of at least hearing or coming into some contact with the Krishna consciousness movement. That's very true. So that's only hope. Maharaj comments in text 51, Srila Prabhupada will comment relevant to Praveen's question. So we'll see in the next verse.
Okay, so you want to read the next verse, please?
Yorkendva Agnindra Vayunam Yamadharma Prachetasam Rupani Sthana Adhatse Tasmai Shuklayate Nama. Translation. When necessary, you assume the part of the sun god, the moon god, Agni, the god of fire, Indra, the lord of paradise, Vayu, the wind god, Yama, the god of punishment, Dharma, the god of piety, and Varuna, the god presiding over the waters. All obeisances to you, who are none other than the Lord Vishnu. Purport. Since the sage Kardamba was a Brahmana and Swayambhuva Manu was a Kshatriya, the sage was not supposed to offer obeisances to the king because socially his position was greater than the king's. But he offered his obeisances to Swayambhu Manu because as Manu, the king and emperor, he was representative of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is always worshipable, regardless of whether one is a Brahmana, a Kshatriya, or a Shudra. As the representative of the Supreme Lord, the king deserved respectful obeisances from everyone. So here Prabhupada clearly mentions that as a matter of duty, being the representative of the Supreme Lord, the king deserved respectful obeisances from everyone. So it is clear that like Praveen Prabhu's question is completely answered here. So also there is a comment by Ekendra Prabhu, the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura on this verse. You completely accept the forms of the sun and others in a suitable way. Sthane. You are the sun because of your majesty. You are the moon because of your fame. You are fire because of your invincibility. You are Indra because of your lordship. You are Vayu because you enter everywhere. You are Yama because you punish the sinful. You are Dharma because you protect the righteous. You are Varuna because you are deep and hidden treasure. Therefore, I offer respects to you, the Lord, in another form. You have come to my cottage. So it clearly shows the omnipresence of the Lord, and that's why he offers respectful obeisances. So the commentary by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur shows the reason why he offers respectful obeisances.
Also in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, Krishna says, I am the sun, I am the moon, I am the fire. And I enter into the planet so the planet can stay in the orbit. Yes, and I'm also the moon, so I give the what do you call sweetness to the vegetables.
Also, Maharaj comments, it shows also why the king is identified with these particular gods. This shows in Vedic times the supremacy of the king as a representative of the supreme personality of God. So the purport, the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur purport shows, yes. Ekendra Prabhu, such a culture of respect soothes the heart just to hear about it, in contrast to the present climate of envy and disrespect. True.
Okay, we'll go 52 and 54. Tadeva. Okay. No. No yada rathamasthaya jaitram manigana pritam vispuricha chandra kodando rathena trasayada dana swasvainya charanakshunam vepayan mandalam bhuva vikarshan bruhatim senam paryatasyam shumaniva tadaiva sevata sarve varnashram adinan mandana bhagavadadri cha rajan videra vat dastubhi. Translation. If you did not mount your victorious jewel chariot, those mere peasants threaten cultives. If you did not produce fierce sound by the twanging of your bow, and if you did not roam about the world like the brilliant sun, leading a huge army whose trampling feet cause the globe of the earth to tremble, then all the moral laws governing the varnas and ashrams created by the Lord Himself will be broken by the rogues and rascals.
Jai. Ras Prabhu is going to read the purport.
It is the duty of a responsible king to protect the social and spiritual orders in human society. The spiritual orders are divided into 4 ashrams: Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. And the social orders, according to work and qualification, are made up of the Brahmanas, the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas, and the Sudras. These social orders, according to the different grades of work and qualification, are described in Bhagavad Gita. Unfortunately, for want of proper protection by responsible kings, the system of social and spiritual orders has now become a hereditary caste system. But this is not the actual system. Human society means that society which is making progress toward spiritual realization. The most advanced human society was known as Arya. Arya refers to those who are advancing. So the question is, which society is advancing? Advancement does not mean creating material necessities unnecessarily and thus wasting human energy in aggravation over so-called material comforts. Real advancement is advancement toward spiritual realization, and the community which acted toward this end was known as the Aryan civilization. The intelligent men, the Brahmanas, as exemplified by Pradhan, were engaged in advancing the spiritual cause, and Kshatriyas like Emperor Swayambhuva used to rule the country and ensure that all facilities for spiritual realization were nicely provided. It is the duty of the king to travel all over the country and see that everything is in order. Indian civilization, on the basis of the 4 varnas and the ashram, deteriorated because of their dependency on foreigners, or those who do not follow the civilization of Varnashram. Thus, the Varnashram system has now been degraded into the caste system. The institution of 4 varnas and 4 ashrams is confirmed herewith to be Bhagavatam, which means designed by the Supreme Personality of God. In Bhagavad Gita, this is also confirmed. Chaturvarnyam Maya Shastam, Bhagavad Gita 4:13. says that the institution of 4 varnas and 4 ashramas is created by me. Anything created by the Lord cannot be closed or covered. The divisions of varnas and the ashramas will continue to exist, either in their original form or in the created form. But because they are created by the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they cannot be extinguished. They are like the sun, a creation of God, and therefore will remain. Either covered by clouds or in a clear sky, the sun will continue to exist. Similarly, when the varnashram system becomes degraded, it appears as a hereditary caste system. But in every society, there is an intelligent class of men, a martial class, a mercantile class, and a laborer class. When they are regulated for cooperation among communities according to the Vedic principles, then there is peace and spiritual advancement. But when there is hatred and malpractice and mutual mistrust in the caste system, the whole system becomes degraded, and as stated herein, it creates a deplorable state. At the present moment, the entire world is in this deplorable condition because of giving rights to so many interests. This is due to the degradation of the 4 castes of varnas and ashramas.
Ekendra Prabhu comments, Srila Prabhupada says, advancement does not mean creating material necessities unnecessarily and thus wasting human energy in aggravation over so-called material comforts. Sometimes when he met people, he would ask them what their goal of life was and start conversations that way. Without a worthy, reasonable, and absolute goal, how can there be any harmony? True. Praveen Prabhu comments, giving rights to so many interests. What does this mean? Ekender Prabhu says lobbyist. Saraswati Mataji comments.
Haripal, can I read my own, if you don't mind?
Yes, please.
I think I made some spelling mistakes.
Please,
so pranams to everyone. So it's clear how in the Aryan civilization, priority was given to spiritual advancement with the complete dependency on the Lord and his representative. So for a devoted father like Swambhu Manu, he could understand how fortunate his daughter would be to marry a pure devotee like Kardama Muni. But today, in today's society, parents of a daughter usually have a checklist where the potential son-in-law should have material assets. That's above all in their list of requirements. And definitely a hermit living in a hut wouldn't even be considered. So I just wanted to make that comment, how degraded the mentality has become of parents who are trying to arrange marriages for their daughter. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, what you said is correct. Things are changed as the Kali process progresses, and the time has so much effect on that. So all we can do is just chant Hare Krishna and be happy.
Also, one interesting point here, Prabhupada mentions in the purport, the divisions of Varnas and Ashram will continue to exist, either in their original form or in the degraded form, because they have been created by the Lord. So, like he gives the example of sun, whether like covered by the cloud or whether in the original form, it will continue to remain. So, Ekendra Prabhu comments, Srila Vishwanath says in his commentary on this verse, O King, why have you come? But why should I ask that question, since I already know the answer? Who states to state this, he makes a negative statement. If you do not travel the earth, then the rules would be broken. The three verses are connected. The chariot was studded with jewels and great victory. Just by the presence of chariot, the evil became fearful. Yes. So a couple of comments before that. Some editorial issue, editorial error. I don't know, like where on what Maharaj has commented that. Maharaj says, advancement does not mean creating material necessities unnecessarily and thus wasting human energy in aggravation over so-called material comforts. According to the MS, should you say wasting manuscript, Manu Samhita, should say waste time aggravating so-called comforts, that is increasing them and making them worse.
I like the one sentence here. Real advancement is advancement towards spiritual realization. No matter how much you advance in materially, but if you don't have that spiritual realization, everything is zero. Okay. So we'll go number 55. Adharmasya samedeta lolupe paira vyangsuka nubhi shayane tvai lokasyam dastu grusto vinangshiti. Translation. If you give up all thoughts of the world's situation, unrighteousness would flourish. For men who hanker only after money would be unstopped. Such miscreants would attack and the world would perish. What?
Saraswati Mataji.
Okay, thanks.
Because the scientific division of the four varnas and four ashrams is now being extinguished, the entire world is being governed by unwanted men who have no training in religion, politics, or social order, and it is in a very deplorable condition. In the institution of the four varnas and the four ashrams, there are regular training principles for the different classes of men. Just as in the modern age, there is a necessity for engineers, medical practitioners, and electricians, and they are properly trained in different scientific institutions. Similarly, in former times, the higher social orders, namely the intelligent class, the brahmanas, the ruling class, the kshatriyas, and the mercantile class, the vaishyas, were properly trained. Bhagavad Gita describes the duties of the brahmanas, kshatriyas, vaishyas, and the shudras. When there is no such training, one simply claims that because he is born in a brahmana or kshatriya family, he is therefore a brahmana or a kshatriya, even though he performs the duties of a shudra. Such undue claims to being a higher caste man make the system of scientific social orders into a caste system, completely degrading the original system. Thus, society is now in chaos, and there is neither peace nor prosperity. It is clearly stated herein that unless there is the vigilance of a strong king, impious, unqualified men will claim a certain status in society, and that will make the social order perish.
This point is very much relevant nowadays, where Prabhupada used to say on a multiple occasions where he used to say that there will be many Varna Sankaras in the future, because knowing your Varna, like what are your prescribed duties according to your nature, was so much essential in Vedic times. But nowadays there are many Varna Sankaras. Ekendra Prabhu comments, people are understandably afraid of totalitarian governments, especially theocracies. But people are seemingly not afraid of the results of atheism and hedonism. Before that, Maharaj had commented, I like the subtlety of Kardam's not asking that question.
Okay, Saraswati Mataji has a hands up.
Yes, I just wanted to say that whenever people think about the caste system of India, they automatically assume that there's a class that's oppressed and that they have to abolish, and it's just a completely bad idea. But what they don't understand is that there is always going to be a hierarchy in society, whether it's in the Western society or whatever. There's still a hierarchy. There's the super rich people who claim to be in the upper class. Their caste systems based on material wealth, but there's no way to completely abolish this hierarchy. There's going to be people ahead and people below. And also Mahatma Gandhi, he wanted to try and also think that he could improve on this caste system by having Harijan, the untouchables, but in the end he failed as well, because the formula was already given in Bhagavad Gita of how to sort out people and what order they should be in. Thank you.
Yes, there's a clarification from Maharaj, not asking why the king had come, since he had already knew. Yeah.
Okay, I would like to invite Madhupati Prabhu. Text number 56.
Maharaj comments, today we have the money men running the government. Very true.
Athapi priche tvam vira yadartham tvam ihagata tadvayam nirvya alikena patipadya maherida. Translation. In spite of all this, I ask you, O valiant king, the purpose for which you have come here, whatever it may be, we shall carry it out without reservation. Somebody wants to read the purpose?
Yeah, please.
When a guest comes to a friend's house, it is understood that there is some special purpose. Kardama Muni could understand that such a great king as Swayambhuva, although traveling to inspect the condition of his kingdom, must have had some special purpose to come to his hermitage. Thus he prepared himself to fulfill the king's desire. Formerly it was customary that the sages used to go to the kings, and the kings used to visit the sages in their hermitages. Each was glad to fulfill the other's purpose. This reciprocal relationship is called Bhakti Karya. There is a nice verse describing the relationship of mutual beneficial interest between the Brahmana and the Kshatriya. Kshatram Dvijatvam. Kshatram means the royal order, and Dvijatvam means the Brahmanical order. The two were meant for mutual interest. The royal order would give protection to the Brahmanas for the cultivation of spiritual advancement in society, and the Brahmanas would give their valuable instruction to the royal order on how the state and the citizens can gradually be elevated in spiritual perfection. I think this is
We
something about the
missed out
relationship
on
between.
part of comment Maharaj, where he says that like the wealthy men are controlling the government, and also they are looting people at the same time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the relationship between the king and Brahmanas is very well explained here. And I think in older days it was working very well. But since the age is degraded, nobody wants to listen from Brahmana, or nobody care for the government also. So the mutual understanding is not there.
Ekendra Prabhu comments, he prepared himself to fulfill the king's desires, shows such a high mutual regard of the Kshatriya for the Brahmana that Kardamamuni says, I will do whatever you want. Maharaj comments, Srila Prabhupada says, all fifth class men.
Yes.
They don't exist in all the four. Praveen Prabhu asks, does anyone know that verse?
Okay, so Saraswati Mataji has hands up also.
Yeah, I just was thinking of that saying when they say cut off the head of the snake, and in effect you've killed the entire animal. So in this instance, it's like you remove the priests that are the head of the entire society, and therefore, of course, chaos is going to ensue because you've actually in effect cut off the head. And also, Kadama Muni, he was already had the sign from the Lord that in time his future wife would be, and her parents are going to be coming to secure this alliance. So it just made me think that because they were completely dependent on the Lord, they didn't really, everything that was arranged for them would be perfect. In today's society, every time I hear somebody's trying to secure a trade agreement, somebody's trying to secure some business partnership, everyone's working like crazy to try and secure something, but none of that really means anything in the end. It's all useless because it has no connection with the Lord and what the Lord requires of us. Thank you.
Also, I remember something which I had read somewhere, where like different classes of the society, namely Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Shudras, and Vaishnavas, Vaishyas. These are different parts of the society, which there is correlation with the body parts, where the Shudras are considered as the feet and Brahmanas as the head. Like I don't recall if someone can like comment on that if they have a clarity. Maharaj comments, Grihit Vasad Grahan Pravartante Suchi Vrata. This was the verse which Praveen Prabhu had asked, I guess.
Okay, so now we end this chapter, thus end the Bhaktivedanta purport of the third canto, 21st chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Conversation Between Manu and Kadamba. So we're going to start chapter. Yes.
Maharaj had commented, like this is a separate comment, and before that there's one more comment from Ekendra Prabhu. Each was glad to fulfill the other's purpose. That really shows the perfection of Varnashram system. Total mutual cooperation based on a shared ultimate goal, not at almost people's concept of caste system. Yeah. So they are mutually helping each other to fulfill the ultimate goal. So that's a very wonderful point.
So shall we go on chapter 22 now? Chapter 22.
Also, one more comment from Maharaj. Kadamba said, I'll agree to whatever you want, but he knew why Manu had come. Cool.
Vishnu told him, right? He'll be coming. Yes. Lord Vishnu. Yes. Anything else? Okay, Mukesh Prabhu, go for 22 now.
I just wanted to say that we don't all have that luxury of Vishnu giving us a premonition of things to come when somebody asks us for a favor.
That's true. Okay.
Ekendra Prabhu, there's a hand raise from Saraswati Mataji. Like, do you want to comment anything? Yeah.
No, it disappeared now. Okay.
It disappeared.
Okay, go ahead.
So,
22.
Like,
The marriage of Kardama Muni and Devahuti.
So, Maitreya Uvacha, Evam Avishkrata Shesha Guna Karma Dayo Munim Savriddha Ivatam Samrat Uparatam Uvacha. Maitreya said, after describing the greatness of emperor's manifold qualities and activities, the sage became silent, and the emperor, feeling modesty, addressed him as follows.
Manu Uvacha Brahma Srujantvato Mukto Yushnanam Parishaya Chandomasya Tapo Vidya Yoga Yuktan Alampatan. Manu replied, to expand himself in Vedic knowledge, Lord Brahma, the personified Veda, from his face created you, the Brahmanas, who are full of austerity, knowledge, and mystic power, and are averse to sense gratification. Purport. The purpose of the Veda is to propagate the transcendental knowledge of the absolute truth. The Brahmanas were created from the mouth of the Supreme Person, and therefore they are meant to spread the knowledge of the Vedas in order to spread the glories of the Lord. In Bhagavad Gita also, Lord Krishna says that all the Vedas are meant for understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is especially mentioned here, Yoga Yuktan Alampatam, that Brahmanas are full of mystic power and are completely averse to sense gratification. Actually, there are two kinds of occupations. One occupation in the material world is sense gratification, and the other occupation is spiritual activity to satisfy the Lord by his glorification. Those who engage in sense gratification are called demons, and those who spread the glorification of the Lord or satisfy the transcendental senses of the Lord are called demigods. It is specifically mentioned here that the Brahmanas are created from the face of the cosmic personality or Virat Purush. Similarly, the Kshatriya are said to be created from his arm, the Vaishyas are created from his waist, and the Sudras are created from the legs. Brahmanas are especially meant for austerity, learning, and knowledge, and are averse to all kinds of sense gratification.
Ekendra Prabhu comments, Srila Vishwanath Nath's commentary on verse 1. The 22nd chapter describes how the king, after speaking in a pleasing manner and giving his daughter to Kadamba, knower of truth, returns to his kingdom. The excellence of king's unlimited qualities and activities had been described. He spoke to the sage who became silent or who was detached from everything, Upratam. He was embarrassed because of hearing his own glories and because of the descriptions of occupation when he himself was completely dedicated to the Lord. And he also comments, and verse 2, fearing the sage would refuse his daughter in marriage, Manu first explained with reasoning the relation between the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas in 2.5 verses. Brahma created the Brahmanas with a desire to preserve the Vedas by propagating them. Atma Paripasyaya.
So we are approaching the end, and I would like Krishna Kaunteya Prabhu to lead the kirtan today.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Rama. Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Rama. Rama Hare Rama. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Rama. Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Rama. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Rama. Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Rama. Rama Gurudev Jai.
जय जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिकुचार्य अस्तोतरस्य श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिकुचार्य अस्तोतरस्य श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत स्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोधाम की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय। मथुरा धाम की जय। मायापुर नंदी धाम की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी की जय। गंगामयी जमुनामयी की जय। तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की जय। समवेत भक्तवृंद की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shiva Guru and Gauranga. Jai Shri.
Jai. Thank you, Mahesh Pandit Prabhu. Thank you, Krishna Kanteya Prabhu. Thank you, Maharaj, for being here. And thank you especially everyone for your participation. I think it's the least we can do. Maharaj has been giving these classes for the last 3 years, no matter where in the world he is or what time it is when he's there. So for the foreseeable future, this is what we'll be doing. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jayadvaita Maharaj ki jai.
Samaveta Bhaktivinoda ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.